Okay, this is a serious question. What do you think is worse? Like pain-wise, tattoos or piercings? Because I've sat through so much of this and it's fine. But today I just went and got the 4th one pierced on both my ears and I feel sick from it. It's actually ridiculous. Like the first 3 weren't too bad actually, but the 4th one I was just like, oh, the guy pierced it and he was like, how's that feel? And I'm like, no, great, to be honest. Which, like, if you have both, which one did you find worse? Because that was just not fun today. But you know what is fun? I'm gonna share some healthy dessert options with you guys. I would also like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. All right, so all of these recipes you can find on my blog, which is eatrunlift.me, and I'm gonna talk you through how to prepare them. They're all very simple because you guys know I love simple recipes. I hate spending forever in the kitchen. I'll put the quantities used on the screen, and also if you're after a post to refer back to, check out the blogs which are linked in the description box below. All right, let's get started. So I thought let's put the easiest one first, and the first one is going to be a smoothie because let's be real, you don't have to have this just for dessert. You can sort of have this whenever you wanted throughout the day. I love the flavors mint and chocolate together, and anyone who says that is bad is wrong. I'm sorry, but it's true. So we're making a choc mint smoothie first up. Now, obviously, most of you know how to prepare a smoothie. We're going to take all these ingredients and throw them into a NutriBullet or blender. So I'm going to use some kale, some ice cubes, or you can just freeze your banana if you'd rather do that, cacao nibs, a handful of mint, protein powder, and almond milk, or your preferred choice of milk. And we're simply going to take that and blend it all together, and it's going to be really delicious. All right, now ideally for this next recipe, you'd be doing it in an oven. And I was thinking that you would do it about 180 degrees. I have an issue. The element in my oven has broken and I'm still waiting for someone to come out and fix it. So I'm gonna be grilling these. It does work in the grill. I did test it the other day. So yes, I will be grilling these pears. We're gonna make some baked spiced pears. So if you love sort of nutmeggy cinnamon kind of flavors, you'll really like this. And I would also recommend pairing it with some Greek yogurt. So all you're gonna need for this is pears, cinnamon, nutmeg, walnuts, and some maple syrup. So preheat your oven or your grill, if you're forced to use your grill like I am right now. We're gonna cut the pears in half and we're gonna scoop out the middle, just a little section. We don't wanna have the seeds in them. So ideally you wanna not get a green pear. Look at the color of the pear. You wanna make sure that it is something that is more on the yellow or brown kind of side. Then what we're going to do in a separate bowl is mix together our maple syrup. So I like to use a sugar-free one from a brand called Queen. There is another good one from a brand called Walden Farms, and I'm going to add in the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the walnuts to that. Stir that all together, and then I'm going to scoop that on top of my pears. Now I'm going to grill them, but you can bake them, and we're just going to bake them until they're soft the way through. Once they're baked, you can take them out, put them into a bowl or a plate, and serve them with some Greek yogurt. It is so delicious. What are we thinking about the mustard? I felt like I was going out on a limb, and I was like, yes, I'm taking a chance and incorporating this cool new color. And now I'm seeing it sort of everywhere, so I feel like I've seen it somewhere and it's just imprinted in me, and now I think it's a cool color, but it's like literally just what shops have started to sell now, so but I really like it. All right, next up we are going to make a chia seed pudding. I know some people can get a bit iffy with the texture of these, and that is largely going to come down to what kind of milk you are using in the chia seeds. So I'm going to use almond milk because I have it on hand, but if you want chia seeds which are very smooth and silky consistency and not too lumpy, you want to look for something like a low-fat coconut milk. Yes, it will have more fat than something like an almond milk or an oat milk, but it will change the texture of the chia seeds and it will make them really creamy and smooth. So for this, we're going to need some non-dairy milk, chia seeds, cacao powder, or unsweetened cocoa powder, whichever you prefer. Cacao powder is great for magnesium though. Some dates and some vanilla extract. So the amounts which I will write on the screen is enough to make 2 servings, but I calculate the macros based on 1 serving. Now I find the best way to get these to combine, so the way I used to make chia seed pudding is I just like scoop the chia seeds and then put in the milk and stir it and hope for the best. I found the best way to make the texture a lot silkier and nicer to eat is to take all the ingredients, put them into like a NutriBullet or a blender or something, blend them all up, and then pour them into your containers. Once you've blended them all up, put them in the fridge, and we're gonna keep them in the fridge for a minimum of about 2 hours. Ideally, leave them overnight, and then you can serve them. This is a really easy one to make, so if you've got people coming over and you want to impress them and you also want something that's not going to blow your calorie budget, this is an awesome option. Now, if you want to find any of these recipes, make sure you jump on over to my blog. Now, I love to use Squarespace to host my blog, and I've used them for the last few years for both my health blog and my personal blog too. The reason that I really love to use them so much, and I would absolutely recommend them if you are looking for a platform to host your website, online store, blog, whatever it might be, is because they have everything that you need built in. You can choose through a wide range of pre-developed templates, and then you can install them and customize them yourself to make sure that they suit you and your branding. And on top of that as well, they've integrated email campaigns, so you don't even need to leave the Squarespace platform to push out your emails and let your audience know when you have something new to share with them. I love that I can set up a blog post in little to no time. I can duplicate over recipe posts, and then after that I can select posts to be reviewed, or I can even schedule them so that they'll automatically go live at the same time that my videos go live. I'm going to put a URL up on the screen now, and jump on over to this URL if you've been thinking about setting up a blog, website, whatever it might be, and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. All right, let's jump over to the last recipe. Alright, now we are going to put together a blueberry slice. So we're going to have 2 layers for this one. For the blueberry layer, you're going to want a cup of blueberries, doesn't matter whether you use fresh or frozen blueberries, about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of sugar-free maple syrup, and a tablespoon of chia seeds. The chia seeds are going to help bind it together and make it a little bit thicker. For the base, we're going to use a cup of rolled oats, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 banana, half a cup of sugar-free maple syrup, a pinch of salt, and around half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. For this one, we're going to prepare the jam layer the day before. So do a little flashback to me preparing this yesterday. So what I'm going to do is pour all of the jam ingredients, so that was the blueberries, the maple syrup, and the chia seeds, into a saucepan. We're going to cook that on a low heat, and we're going to stir it really regularly. So you want to cook it for around a total of 10 minutes. Don't let it burn. Keep the temperature low and just make sure it's simmering the whole time. Then we're going to take that out, put it into a container, and put it in the fridge. When we allow it to cool down, that's when it's going to thicken, and the next day we can use it to actually create our slice. So for the slice, I like to get a baking tray and line that, and then I also like to preheat the oven to around 180 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to turn my rolled oats into oat flour like I tend to do, so you can throw them into a blender or a NutriBullet to do this, or if you have oat flour already, you can just use that instead. I'm going to put my oat flour into a mixing bowl, and then I'm going to add the rest of the base ingredients to that bowl and mix it together really well and turn it into almost like a dough. Then I'm going to spread that out into the baking pan. This is only going to make about 6 servings, so I'm just going to press it down. It won't take up the whole space, obviously. I'm going to put the jam on the top layer of this, and then I also wanted to get a few extra rolled oats and just sprinkle them over the top to put on the very top layer. You'll probably only want to bake this for around 20 minutes or so, just until the edges are golden brown. Then you can take it out and allow it to cool on a cooling rack. Use a knife to cut them up, and as long as you keep them in an airtight container, they will store for a few days as well. If you're going to try a recipe, let me know which one. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Also, I'm sorry, my fringe is still like misbehaving. It's been in the way so much. I would love for it to be like an inch longer so my hairstylist can just style it to like sit out of the way a little bit. It's really annoying. And I feel like it annoys me even more than it probably annoys you to watch me sit there and flick it out of the way all the time. I hope you guys are well. Make sure you check out the links in the description box if you want any of the written up versions of these recipes. I try to keep everything over there on my blog, which you can find. And don't forget to come and join me on Instagram. My username is @RachelOst. Anyway, I hope you're well, and I will catch up with you guys in my next video. Bye!